Going to Zoom. I'm live. There we go. And now according to YouTube. Okay, awesome. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to New Light Streaming Love, where this is being broadcast live. I have decided this morning I was kind of nudged because there, even though I haven't put any of my content on my original channel, Sheila, Sassy Seer Sheila, the subscribers are actually going up there as well. So you will see this um, later on Sassy Seer Sheila as well. So welcome everyone. Today is Monday, December the 2nd, 2024. I hope you had a lovely holiday weekend. I sure did. Uneventful. Didn't turn out the way we had hoped. We were trying to actually, as a group, a community group, we were invited to both my son's house and Jasmine's new boyfriend's home. And we weren't able to make that happen. We thought we were going to be able to at first, and that did not happen. So we kind of split up and went our separate ways. But it was still a lot of fun getting to see everyone, and I hope you had a lovely time as well. I hope you had were able to take advantage of the. I tried something new on the channel, and I would love to hear comments about whether or not you were actually notified, what it was like. I had a conversation with young Jonathan Skinner on Saturday. I released it yesterday. I released it as a premiere. I've not done that at all. I have scheduled videos for, several days out to be released. I tried that with the Joshua channelings. I was allowing those to be released one per day. But this one I wanted to do a premiere and see how that turned out. So I'd love to hear from anyone who was notified, who did, because apparently, from what I could tell, what happens when they release it when you set it to release as a premiere, it it has a place for live chatting. So anyone who shows up to watch it when it is first released is actually watching it with others. Now, I did not know that until, and unfortunately, I said it for a time where I wasn't able to participate. Um, I think this might actually, because I'd like to try it again and then be present myself to answer questions in the chat and that sort of thing. So let me know what you think about that. Did you watch it? Was the premiere and the setting of it effective? I did notice that no one, or at least that I could tell, there were no comments. So there was no live chat. There's no comments after. And as a matter of fact, I think it's only been seen by, I don't know, 18, 19. When I saw it, it was 17 views. So, it's not like it's not like it's all that and a bag of chips. But honestly, I had the best time, and I feel as though there's a lot more to come from this young man, and uh, I don't know. We'll see. I get that feeling a lot of times from folks, when there is, like I said, I use the words work to do, but I had a viewer that I'm going to be chatting with tomorrow. Actually, I like the way he put it too. And BZ used to say that too. Um, folks that I want to play with, you know? Because this really isn't work to me. Oh, there's a bit about the play that then becomes work, the whole trying to figure out how to set up and how to use more than just YouTube and that sort of thing, which, I'm just not all that tech savvy, so it's not an easy thing to do. So the fairies wanted to come out this morning. Let's see. Oh, okay. Thank you for that. Was a whole jumping, and actually two came out. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. The RAR came out, and the Spirit Dancer. So, Spirit Dancer is card number 36. Numerologically, that's a 9. And RAR is 52. Numerologically, that's a 7. For me, 9 signifies completion of a cycle or nearing completion of a cycle. And the 7, I've always felt that as a divine type situation. It's like the number of divinity, if you will. And of course, the Rumi deck wants to play today. So I'll go ahead, since I did make mention of the coming out to play on this channel. I really am feeling the conscious conversations coming back. So if you have experienced things and you're not tech savvy and you want to share it with folks, I hope that you will consider coming and having a conscious conversation with me, and we can record it and share your experiences. Um, that's kind of what the original impetus was for this channel. Unfortunately, oh wow, okay, Merciful Mother Jamal came out. Card number 44. That's also a considered master number. And I know too, in another method of um, consideration, um, when I first started Reiki, I found someone pointed me to a blog called the Reiki Doc. And apparently, and please forgive me if I get this wrong, there that as to who actually did it. I'm not sure who channeled this information, but um, a series of numbers in specific sorts of orders came through to someone who was channeling. I believe it's either Mother Mary or Mary Magdalene. I'm not quite sure uh, who and but at any rate, in that the number 4444 deals with archangels, and so that's a very interesting. And I was being called. Okay, this is very interesting. Two surrender cards popped out. The first one, I know a lot of us have, and I'm going to use this terminology, suffered from. Surrender the idea you can fix someone. And in these moments of now, desiring to awaken loved ones, especially, I guess, after this time of year where, you may have been in contact or in presence with loved ones. Um, and it's just really difficult to see uh, what you would consider inaccurate information, misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, outright lie that we all have been subjected to. Someone else, that you love, operating under these sorts of conditions. But in truth, it's a choice And each individuated portion of the all that is gets to make what choices and when and how and even if they actually see something, right? So this one says it's time for a relationship to shift. It doesn't work to try to fix someone. Each person must be accountable for his or her own healing. Because I'm telling you, I used to operate by this. Well, yeah, but if they only knew, if people only knew A, B, C, or whatever it is I think or thought at that time that I had educated myself about, right? Because there's a lot of that, right? I mean, it is for me anyway. Um, but in truth, it really doesn't matter. It does not matter. Um, Personally, I feel as though what happened to me uh, was so visual and so visceral that I went from being on death's door, and I do mean death's door, folks, I mean, the next step was a motorized wheelchair for me because I wasn't even really strong enough to wheel myself around in the wheelchair. And 22 of the 24 hours of the day, I was on oxygen, right? And people could tell me stuff all they wanted to, but until I understood some things and I took responsibility for my health, for everything that I was putting into me, and then also trying to figure out why what I was doing was making such a big difference for me. Until a being decides that for themselves, no amount of, like I said, even my own very visual, very impactful healing made very little matter to my loved ones. They certainly weren't ready, and many still are not, or don't believe what happened. I don't know how they could not believe it, but there you have it. So, and it's not just things like health and things like that. It's like the whole thing for me. I now really get in a very different way because each of us plan our existence here or a framework of what we would like to experience here. And so because I'm still not really clear about what I chose to experience here, how the hell could I think that I could help anybody else? Because we don't know. We really do not know. And this is also why I say what could be right for one is completely wrong for the next. And never the twain shall meet, right? So the other surrender card was surrender to wonder and awe, because the truth of the matter is, for me, that is the way out of a lot of what I put myself into, right? Open to the magic of every moment and sense the awe and wonder in all of life. This attitude will keep you connected to the ecstasy of flow. And I do feel like that's a very real, and I like the way that, okay, so I haven't spoken on this channel very much about it, and I don't know if the artist that created this deck was aware of it, but I feel there is a marriage of energies that in that I, for lack of a better wording, chose Azoth. And every time I see an artist rendering of the blue and the reds like this, a mixing of water and fire, I'm drawn to, again, a poem that my housemate had come in for her a few years ago that actually speaks to this as well. And I've just noticed that this is an energy that is, in my view, a lot of folks are feeling, but don't realize what they're feeling. So anytime I see, and I take into consideration the entire thing. So when I think about wonder and awe, and I think about these, colors together, I don't know, it's just a very, fire is the active principle, and water is all about the emotions. And so I don't know, there's something to that, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so I feel as though, yes, the alchemy elementals deck also wants to be heard today. So anyway, I want to thank you all for being here. There are two of you here, and I appreciate you oh so much. Um, I have noticed a continuation of what I originally shared um, with Jonathan, and part of the reason we all decided to meet after my live is a rising and a desire within males who are stepping into the being receptive, right? And that's why I call it the sacred masculine rising, but it's also the sacred marriage, as though the divine feminine, which also resides in men, um, a lot of a lot of men um, don't want to admit that, or don't want to look into that, right? And uh, okay, this is interesting. Water, waterfall, and earth is what came flying out, as you could see. Okay, so now we're just going to get ready and read all of these. I also it's kind of interesting to me that it's not completely the same coloring in this card as the surrender to wonder and awe, but there is a little similarity there for me in the mixing of the colors. Okay, so who wants to go first? The RAR. Okay. Well, that makes sense. He was the first card to come out, and the energy of the RAR is very interesting. Now, I'm going to ask a question, and we'll delve into it if everybody is interested. I just learned, or I was just exposed to last night. I've got some research to do today. There's, I guess, stuff going around the internet in regards to December 3rd, which I hadn't heard anything about. But again, being a puzzle piece collector, there are things that one wouldn't suspect or are connected, that or could be connected to that I happen to notice over this holiday season. Now, and the biggest one for me is weirdness with internet connectivity, not just my own, but like cash registers struggling and having uh, and at the time, as I was standing in line, I said, probably because a lot of folks are home and the internet is getting heavy traffic, and that's what's causing that, right? But a lot of night grocery stores, I was at a grocery store, and It was so slow that it was timing out for folks um, to pay with their cards, which I thought was kind of interesting. And I just, an observation that I held and in the background there. But I don't know. So let me know what you've heard about December 3rd and what your thoughts and feelings are about it. I don't know. I kind of find this a bit interesting and I would like to know, especially since we have the RAR that has come out here. And the RAR, the key words for this card are wild energy, pure potential. And once upon a time, there were three pink boys, more or less, and a RAR, who all played in Brian's son Toby's bedroom. They liked the midnight tea parties, the magical ambiance, and of course, they liked Toby. Unfortunately, the pink boys got too rowdy, and Brian had to throw them out into the garden, which was where they belonged anyway. The RAR learned from the experience in a rarish sort of way, and it quieted down a bit during the midnight hours. RARs are not naughty or wicked, just energetic. They are also not very discriminating. They like to join into whatever excitement is going on and add energy to it. And that's something that for me, I have noticed in certain cases that I'll get caught up in the energy of whatever is happening, right? So I want to be very mindful not to lend my considerably amplified type of energy to uh, to things, right? To things that I might not want to be a part of, right? In a way, they are pure potential and they potentize whatever is happening. RARs are attracted to mobs rioting and to meditation groups rising toward ecstasy and to any other strong energy states. Which, like I said, is kind of interesting that this come out right now. RARs are a bit like Tigger in the Pooh stories. They bounce, they zoom, they go off on wild tangents. Brian hasn't painted a wild tangent yet, as far as I know, but I know what they look like, having encountered more than my share. Think of the roar of a growling dog, the of an engine revving up, the purring of a cat, and of course the R in arg. As I say, RARs don't discriminate. It is up to us to do that. They put a live spark into whatever is happening. It is our choice what we do with it. A RAR in your cards encourages you to be especially attentive to what you are doing with your energy and your intentions. Don't get carried away by the RAR's bouncy enthusiasm, but do take advantage of the energy. You can accomplish a great deal with the energy being made available to you. This is a good time. Note that the RAR is not grounded and is not meant to be, but humans need to keep their feet firmly on the earth. When you encounter the RAR, breathe slowly, center, earth yourself, be clear about your objectives, and then go for them. So, with that as a background energy for, right now, for today, and I kind of feel like this is, like I said, for it to come out in advance of whatever, this is supposed to be. God, gosh only knows, right? I want to let you guys know now, of course, good morning, Richard. Of course, in the live chat, I something happens after the broadcast, after the live, in which the chat goes away for a little while. I don't know why that is, But I did find some comments just to let everybody know. I have the comments set to be held. Anytime you make a comment, it is held so that I can be sure to see it. I found out when I first started, it was about, I guess, 6 to 8 months in of starting the Conscious Conversation Central YouTube channel back in 2017. I found that there were comments on videos that I had done, a month or 2 months prior, and I didn't see those comments. And sometimes questions were being asked, and I want to respond to folks. And so at that time, I learned the only way that I will be notified of comments is to have them held to be uh, approved. Now, I'm really glad I started doing that because I don't know if it's necessarily bots or if there are there's just beings who want to be rude and mean and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to bring this up again because, it's a bit confusing to folks when they leave a comment and then they don't see it appear immediately. But that's why you don't see the comments appear immediately because I have them held so that, and I go and look at least once a day, sometimes twice a day. As the channel grows, it will probably be twice a day, every day. Oh, good morning, love. I hope you're doing well. Journey into it. That's Crystal. So I go and look at those, and I'm really glad that I do that because what I found once I did that on the other channel was that, again, if I wasn't notified, there was some pretty yucky uh, comments on the channel today when I went to look, and just not. I mean, listen, if somebody has something to say about me, no problem. I don't have a problem. You can think whatever you like, but things that are sexually explicit, links that go to who knows where, that kind of thing, which is kind of interesting to me. I can't even put a link in the live chat, and yet this link that I don't know, I didn't click on it because of the explicit comment that it was, but it was several of them. So just that, I just wanted to let you guys know that that's what is going on. If you comment and you don't see it right away, it is because I want to see your comments. I want to, respond to them if they are a question or whatever else. Um, and that is the only way that I know of that I can be sure to see comments, especially when they are put on. Oh, now we didn't have that set on New Light Streaming Love at first. So if you have commented on an older video before I had the chance to set it that way, because when we first started this, I didn't even think about that. And so there are videos out there that if you've commented and asked a question or something and nobody's gotten back to you, that's probably why. Those, because it wasn't set that way, I'm not notified. And so I just wanted to say that to you guys so you would understand what's going on there. And trust me, trust me, you are glad that I did that, especially for what what this was just recently. It's ridiculous. I don't understand why people waste their time to do silly stuff like that, but okay. So anyway, this is card number 36, Spirit Dancer, and the key words for this card are self-expression, freedom, and exploration. And I love this card, right? because in truth, that's exactly what this is for me. It's an outlet of self expression and also an exercise of my freedom and exploration, because that's what all of this actually is for me personally. So, the spirit dancer understands both sides of self expression. In the first stage, we get our inner vision, feelings, and creative impulse out into the world through our art, whatever that is. Then our expressions are reflected back to us from the mirror of other people's perceptions, and we discover what our art awakens in them. First, and most important for many of us, we learn, grow, and lead more satisfying lives if we have ways of expressing our inner world. I really do feel like that's part of the reason, only a part of the reason, that I ended up being so ill, getting to 490 pounds, was that there was an awful lot that I was not expressing, holding it in, stuffing it down, thinking it doesn't matter, nobody wants to hear this, all of these sorts of things. And honestly, I think that happens to more folks than they are willing to admit, or on some level even try to understand. And part of that has to do with the programming and conditioning that we've all had. Because trust me when I tell you, we all have had that, and we've all had trauma because of it. So, or let's see, they can be a way of getting pain out where we can look at it and let it begin to heal, which is true. I think that was a lot of what I had stuffed down, right? Creative expression is a method of exploring our own truth, bringing it into the light so that we can see it more clearly and maintain our sanity. The key words here are explore, experiment, and express. As this fairy cryptically remarked to one oracle reader, the death of spirit dancer is perfection. And I kind of relate to that because having at one point, and still sometimes I find myself practicing, such a perfectionist. I'm another part of the reason why I'm guided not to edit the videos that I do. I'm also much better going live than, and I cannot tell you how many videos I've recorded and not put them out. And I can't allow myself to do that anymore, because other people will judge you no matter what you do. And the truth of it is, for me, I had to get over that and realize that actually they are allowed to carry whatever opinion of me that they choose. And it's quite frankly none of my business. I always now ask myself, is it true? Do you care? These are all questions that I ask myself about those kind of things. So, second, creative expression is a way of sharing and letting others see more of our true selves. It is a way that we can reach out from this illusion of separation and reaffirm our essential connections with one another. When we share a dance, a painting, or a poem with others, we do so with the hope that they will see something of what we have put into it, and that their experience will echo ours in some way. But if we have done well, we will be able to add something to their experience. At the same time, we understand that their slant on things is a bit different, and that what they reflect back to us by their response will perhaps contain something we hadn't seen about our own experience, a new thought, a different view, an expansion of our picture of reality. So, this side of creative expression, the sharing part, enriches us in a different way than the actual creation. I have never written a poem or sculpted something without the experience changing me, and then changing me again when I shared it with others. This is something I've heard many others say, including many who do not consider themselves real artists or real writers. Spirit Dancer encourages us to take creative action from our place of personal power, the inner core of true feelings and understanding within us. She wants us to clarify our vision, find the creative potential that lies hidden in paradox, confusion, and chaos, and turn these into a free flowing, finely balanced, evolving order. She wants to aid us in making our best fantasies real. She also is very enthusiastic about helping us to learn to dance well with the fairies if we don't already know how. And if we do know how, she would still be delighted to dance with us just for the fun of it. Step out boldly. Now is the time to focus and really concentrate on a project or process, especially one involving the creative arts. Spontaneity, balanced by self discipline, will help us achieve our goals, strive for elegance and simplicity. This is a time to bring out and share qualities that we have nurtured in private. And I couldn't agree more about that part because, well, for me in particular, as I've said before, um, I know a lot of you have said to me that you find this, what I do, very helpful. Uh, it's it's really sort of imperative for me personally. Um, so I feel like that's a win-win situation there. Okay, so Merciful Mother Jamal wants to go last, so we're going to do the Shaman Direct card next. Um, and Crystal, if you aren't busy, I guess because I saw you pop up there that you might join me. Love to hear how you've been, um, unless you're busy, which I get. So I find this very interesting too because this card is card number 40, but I told you it's kind of interesting that the way they've got these numbered here is so weird. So this card is a 4 numerologically, which also speaks to foundation. And with this other card being 44, I don't know, it's very interesting, but it's on page 54, which is a 9 numerologically, which we already had a 9 too, right? So, I mean, I don't know, just very interesting, just something of note that I feel. I don't even know why I'm saying it out loud, but there you have it. Okay, so there is a time for solitude, just as there is a time to commune with others. Your tribe is calling you to join in their revelry. Now is the time for you to ground into the collective spirit that nourishes the individual spirit. Your soul is longing to be fed by the company of others and to sink deeply into the unfolding of love's true bounty. Well, that's kind of interesting because, moving is in the wind for us here. And as I was sharing with Jonathan, we also right this moment, the way for the larger community that we know we will either be creating or merging with or whatever, it is not here, or it hasn't been revealed yet, the energy of that feels closer than ever. So I kind of, that's very interesting to me because this is meant to be a collective reading, right? And I feel that energy uh, even more so than I have of late. Well, good morning, Daryl. Welcome. Glad you could join us this morning. So it says, you see, there are many kinds of love. There is love of self, love of spirit, just as there is love of nature and love of beauty. But there is nothing quite like the love that is shared between friends and family. When we spend time with those we cherish, we amplify each other's beings in profound ways. It's not just about you, my love. Your tribe is just as well served by your time with them as you are by theirs. And I do feel like that's a true statement right there. It's real easy to um, be in my own company, right? I kind of like me, I'm good to go. Sometimes it's a little more challenging to be in company of others who may not be on the same path as I am. However, because of the way I now view all of that, and because I know that I'm called to observe and simply be. I used to think I had to inform everybody in the room of what they didn't see because I could see it. And so, please let me tell you something, right? Well, nobody really likes that. They really just don't, especially if they're trying not to see it, right? It's like, yeah, we know we didn't want to see that, right? So I don't know. I'm not to mention that I also you carry solution in your field and you don't even have to say anything. Just but don't not be yourself, of course, because but it really wasn't me necessarily to have to educate everybody. I'm not everybody's teacher. That's not. Good morning, Myron. Oh, sweetie, these morning ones are for the collective. I am planning to do another intuitive hangout session. And at this moment, I'm feeling Wednesday. Tuesday nights, I have something already. And I am feeling Wednesday for one of those. So the best I could tell you about that is to please make sure and subscribe and hit the notification bell. And I will always put a notification out on the community tab of the channel when at least an hour beforehand. And more than likely that would start around, let's see, I have something at 5 on Wednesday, so probably, no, that's Tuesday. Okay, so probably around 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, see, and Myron just said he never got my email about the Zoom. Well, I'll tell you, it's so weird because that happened twice to me just yesterday. Again, two different people, and then hours and hours and hours after I'd sent it, I got an email back and after I'd already figured out how to get the information to the other person, um, because it's the same email address. I don't know why it's having an issue, but it is. So I really don't. What I have to do is I got to figure out because I'm sure it's probably something I have done incorrectly. I told y'all I'm not very tech savvy, and I only have probably 5 different emails And sometimes I got a feeling stuff is coming from the email I don't expect it to come from or something. I don't know. I've got to figure out a way to either consolidate them all into conscious conversation central at gmail.com, or I'm going to have to just go with sassy seer Sheila at gmail.com. I just don't know what to do about that, but I'm just putting it out there to the universe at this point that it is an issue that I am aware of, and and I'm not real sure how to fix it. Let's just put it that way. So, Myron, I do apologize that you didn't get that information quick enough, and we will be able to get together if that was something that you really wanted to do, was get together. Because just so you know, Daryl and Myron were the two that I had hoped were going to join us a week ago this past Saturday. That Jonathan and I talk about that meeting in our conversation that I put out as a premiere yesterday. So if you missed that with Jonathan Skinner, I highly recommend that conversation. And I kind of feel as though, like I said, I got the same feeling with Jonathan that I've had with others, that there is something to do together. What that will end up being, looking like, whether it will be something that is shown out in the world, I don't know. But this happens a lot to me where I just feel there's something. I don't know what it is, and I'm open to being shown what that will be down the line. You know what I mean? So, mm, my coffee's getting cold. Um, at some point, I need to find one of those little mug warmer thingies. I put it in my wish list on Amazon, so hopefully my kid will see that at some point and say, "Oh, this is something Mom would like to have." Okay. Merciful Mother Jamal. O sudden resurrection, O countless blessings, O blazing fire in the jungle of thoughts. Today you arrive with laughter to break open the jail. Rumi, you, blazing angel, capable of so much, you evoke the testing hand of life. Well, that's kind of true for me. I love the experimenting that I'm doing with my life, the quest that I'm on. Yet, let's see, wait a minute. The testing hand of life. Why not? You cannot fail. Yet, in your sweet surrender, how can the great beloved not respond in kind and offer you solace, comfort, and mercy? For not all successes must be hard won. Can you imagine this? The sweet face of the all powerful. It shines upon you as the love emanating from the Holy Mother's eyes, the golden radiance of her body, and the gentleness of her touch. This is your birthright now, your divine inheritance. The mercy of the all merciful. Of course, I hope you guys can still hear me. It's a little loud in my room from, I think it, I call it snuffleupagus. Here in my area of the country, once every week or two during the winter, fall and winter months, they come around with this big machine and vacuum up everybody's leaves that they have taken down to the street. And so I hear Snuffy coming down the pike here. So I hope you guys. I don't know. Can anybody hear that? Just or is it just me? The mercy of the all merciful. Let it soften the hard edges of your life and your being, and bring to you the grace that is deserved. This oracle brings you a message. There is a shift taking place now in a matter of great importance to you, from Jalal to Jamal, from justice to mercy. This is your path, your destiny, and your blessing now opening up before you. It may be a particular matter. However, it likely includes your entire life orientation. You are being granted refuge, respite, and shelter from the storms of struggle and doubt, and being given a divine sanctuary of safe harbor. That's very interesting. Again, based on what we got going on here in this house. We suspect mold. We also suspect that that may be part of the reason my breathing has gotten worse and just continues to. So that's very interesting. Huh. You, okay, let's see. No, that's not Snuffy. That's the next door neighbor. I'm so sorry, guys. I hope that's, luckily, this is the last card. Okay. You shall find that the unraveling of the struggle and pain now happens through tenderness, a gentler approach. You are also being asked to take stock of your own thoughts and attitudes. Having to be tough and play hardball in the past has served its purpose, yet this oracle comes to you with guidance to become softer in your way and your attitude. Boy, that's specific to me. If you guys only knew, I have been called a hard ass. Oh, yes, I have, because I used to stand firm in what I just knew that I knew that I knew, which was really more my ego than anything else, to be honest with you. Can you gently but firmly place to one side the judge within, the one who keeps score and demands retribution, an eye for an eye, the exponent of absolute justice, which, being a Libra, there's a little bit of that, not going to lie. Can you invite instead the one who gentles the aggressive lord within and allows him to bow before the great lady who loves, is wise, and who steadies the workings of the world with the softest of touches? Don't fear that if you suddenly give yourself a break, all of your discipline, hardness, toughness, and suffering will go to waste. No, all things provide learning and serve divine purpose. I truly feel that's a true statement too, because it served me to be the way I was when I was that way. I I I don't regret anything. For me, regretting something, I don't know, it makes no sense whatsoever. Was everything that I did correct or right? No, not at all. But it served its purpose in the moment that it was happening. I mean, every single thing, even things that I had adjudged as mistakes in my past, that I adjudged as mistakes, and I can see now they actually really weren't. That's why I say you can label your actions anything you feel you must in the moment, but eventually you will see that that label doesn't necessarily mean that it is what you've labeled it. Or at least that's how it's worked for me anyway. So, all things provide learning and serve divine purpose. But now there is no reason to continue in that way. It is time to learn another way. You are strong enough now to become gentle. If there is a foe or fight in your life, ask for the Mother of Mercy to bless it into resolution. If you have also drawn the hand of Fatima, which we haven't, you're being told that this resolution is already on its way. You are being told now that you can stand your ground and remain in your strength without having to become aggressive or hard. You have more power than you realize, and it is in your being. It is not in your ability to control others or manipulate situations, which is we got this right here to back that up, right? For such actions are unworthy of a being of your magnitude and are unnecessary for your success. You are also being given the message that your prayers are powerful. Although action in the world is a part of your soul purpose and plan, when you pray, have conviction that your powers are real, that your prayers, but I feel I stand by my original wording of your powers because that's true too, that your prayers are real, are heard, and are responded to by the great universal heart. So pray carefully and thoughtfully. Be present and speak as if you were speaking to your dearest, oldest, and most influential and powerful friend, because of course you are. That is exactly what you're doing. Pray from the heart and trust in the power of your prayers. There is no limit to what you can pray about, nothing too unspiritual or unworthy, nothing. So pray. Good gravy. Are you guys, somebody tell me, can you hear all of that or no? Just say no, we can't hear it, Sheila. If you don't mind, I would really appreciate that because it is so loud. It's almost like there's 3 or 4 leaf blowers right outside my window here. That's why I'm asking if you guys could hear that. This oracle brings you the message that the great power of compassion is reaching for you, that it wants to help you, but is waiting for you to ask. So ask, then you shall receive. So that's it for this one. And I would really love to know from somebody, anybody, please. No, you can't hear it. Thank you, Daryl. I appreciate it. There's such a delay, but it's so loud. I feels like they're right outside my window right here. At least they waited till almost noon. It's when they do it really, really, really early in the morning that's a bummer. Wow, this is a pretty good reading if you ask me for today's energy. I think the energy will be a little wild and woolly. But it's also, remember, pure potential. Pure, and I feel like that energy is here now anyway. It doesn't really matter. I think that underlying it all, we we have at our disposal pure potential. In the handbook for the new paradigm, volumes 1, 2, and 3, which you can also find on this channel in a playlist. I believe I put them all in the same playlist. That speaks to this time, I feel, where there's lots of vying for your attention, your focus and attention, and lots of attempts to manipulate those thoughts, the way one feels about things, and maybe even the intentions of what you're going to do with this information, this data, right? So I don't know, there's a lot going on in the field, if you ask me. And so I hope this was helpful for everyone. I really appreciate you guys coming, showing up, being here. for these readings. They're helpful for me, but just having you guys here shows me, tells me, lets me know that you guys find it helpful for you as well. I'm going to make this again, if you feel that you have experiences that you feel called to share, any kind of dreams, I'm putting together folks that want to come and talk about their dreams, because that would be a dream space segment. Um, Anyone that has any other kinds of experiences that have to do with, hidden information, whether it be things that this is so distracting. I can't believe you guys can't hear that. It's so loud. Wow. Well, I'm just going to let it go. If you are interested in having a conscious conversation with me, hit me up, conscious conversation central at gmail.com, and we'll make it happen. Please include, I am in the Eastern Standard Time Zone, so please do include your time zone so that I know, gives me an idea of the differences in times. Several of you are located in the Pacific, and also I've got a few that are located in Europe. And so it will be important for me to know what time you're thinking about. Also, if you really are interested, give me a couple of days and times that would work best for you. I try to do it that way because rather than go back and forth between our schedules, if I have 2 to 3 days and times that you are available that would work great for you, generally I can find somewhere in my schedule to put that. So that's it for this one. I can't think of anything else. Um, I hope that you will move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you. It truly is just a perspective that you're holding in that moment. And that's an invitation for you to see if there's another perspective that you might hold that you could feel more joyful about if it's a situation that doesn't bring you joy. Till next time, be well, my friends. Mwah.